Yeah, so we're going to be working with a Dex Arcane build, as you saw right there, and it kind of smacks. I use a few different weapons today, but this one, Morgoth's Sword, has to be my favorite. Let's get into it. Alright, starting off here, it looks like we have what looks like a mage. He's got a Moonveil Katana, and he's casting Stars of Ruin. So, this looks like it's going to be a good fight right off the bat. And he is not afraid to go for that Moonveil weapon art. Bet you he goes for another one. You know. So basically all I'm going to do here is watch out for that Moonveil weapon art. There's another one. And try and get the spacing down so that I can attack him when he goes for the weapon art. Because if I can close enough, I'll be able to hit him. Like that. And then once you catch them in it, they can't really ever get out of it because they don't really know what to do, because all they know is Moonveil weapon art. So we give them a nice little clap and move on. Our next fight, got a guy called, what was his name? Shoe Guy? Yeah, or Shoe Gay? I don't know what that is. Shoes and Lucerne. Should be a decent weapon if you know how to use it. Most spears are. In fact, the dual spears are kind of absolutely broken in my opinion, but you know, whatever. This thing's actually insane. That R2 right there has some GG, my man. GG. Crazy range on it. Man, you can use the spacing hit him, but this thing like real nice. Like follow people and attack. Poor guy. Alright, moving on. Hey! Doag. Doge. Weird spelling of Doge, maybe. Switch to the Militiaman Halberd. What is this thing called? I don't even know what this thing's called. It's Militiaman something or another. I think it's Halberd. This guy's using... Oh, who is it? It's some weird name. That sword. Can't remember the name of it. It's interesting. I don't see it a lot in PvP. That's probably why, because the weapon art takes 10 years to do. But GG. The Last Array. This guy sounds interesting. I love it when you start a fight and the guy sits there for 10 seconds. Not really this guy, but some people will sit there for 10 or 15 seconds buffing up. It looks like we switched to the Militiaman Shotel now. I'm pretty sure this thing is called. And Sword Dance, man. Sword Dance is just, it has to be one of the best weapon arts in the game. Just kind of traded with him right there. GG, I guess. Now we have Sukrogi. Sukrogi? I don't know. Pulling out my throwing knives for some reason. Nah, take out his bubble. I don't know, that's why I stopped using the bubble. Most people carry around throwing knives, and if they don't carry around, they can switch to them, like I just did. Almost died right there, going for that, got a little too aggressive there, greedy. But, so did he. And that Sword Dance weapon art, again, just carrying me through the fight. This thing's kind of scary. Moonlight Greatsword. I've seen some builds where people can hit like damn near 1,000 damage, if not 1,000 damage with the R2. That, yeah, see that was probably, I think I have about 1,300 HP. That was probably close to 1,000 damage actually. He goes for a parry. I don't know if I would be trying to parry a halberd if I was him. But, gotta respect it, I suppose. Catching that blood bead up, that blood build up, even though I'm not hitting him. Please fix that from software. I don't know if status effects are supposed to build up when people dodge them, but maybe they are. Who knows? Maybe it's working as intended. We got ourselves a little katana guy here. The Raven Shadow. I don't know, katanas are hit or miss. You can find someone with a katana who will just absolutely fuck your day up. And not even a Moonveil katana, just a regular katana. They just know the moveset well. And some people just, you know, are Moonveil Katana users and just kind of rely on the weapon art a little too much. I guess this guy fell somewhere in the middle, maybe. GG. What's his name? Jez? Jiz? Is that just a... Is that an A? No, it's Jizza. Jezza. I don't know. I'm a child, I guess. Is that Jizza? And he's got an interesting strategy here. He just keeps blocking these attacks, even though his shield doesn't actually have 100% block damage. Oh well. To each his own, I suppose. Now we got our man Hush. Or woman. Man or woman, I suppose. You got dudes who plays females and females who plays dudes in the game. As well as other games. Like RuneScape. And WoW. All that aside, this whip is kind of like ripping him apart right now. There goes his little, what is that? The world tier or the bubble tier? I can't remember what that's called. The tier that keeps you from dying one time. It's gone. It's going for weapon art. I don't know what the hell I tried to do right there. I thought the whip might be able to hit him inside of that little dome of slashes. It wasn't though. I almost died because of that. But ended up finishing it off. Melania's katana is nasty. I'm gonna have to make a video on that. But god, that's just another Dex video at the end of the day. Oh well. I love pizza. You know, me too, man. But unfortunately, you gotta die, because you're my enemy. We may agree on the whole pizza debacle, but you gotta go. I hate this spell, by the way. I don't know what this thing's called. It's like a mosquito swarm or something. That's what the hell it looks like, at least. And it can stagger you, it can bleed you, it can allow them to get off other attacks while it's staggered. It's a dangerous spell. Very dangerous. That aside, something else that's dangerous is that weapon art. That one too, as a matter of fact. You know, that brings up a good point. The running R2 on Great Rapiers is broken. I abused the absolute crap out of it with the Dragon Crack Blade. It is absolutely broken. It's real fun when you're using it, not when you're playing against it though. That being said, pretty sure this guy is history. Oh no, not the Bestial Sling. Bestial Sling has got to be another extremely annoying spell. It takes no time to cast, very little FP, they can throw it off a whole bunch of times. Gotta watch out for it, definitely. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but that's not always the only thing you have to watch out for. Moving on to Neminja? Neminja? Something like that. It's got a big old cleaver thing there. I forget what it's called. The Executioner's Greatsword. That's what it is in Dark Souls, I think. I don't know what it is in this game. But we're using the Rivers of Blood. Everybody knew it was coming. It's a damn Dex and Arcane build. I mean, come on. We're going to have to use Rivers of Blood at some point. Doesn't mean we have to use the weapon art, though. Nah, but for real, though, this weapon is kind of insane, just DPS-wise, without the weapon art. And then, of course, if you ever find a need for it, you can throw the weapon art out and then clutch up if you need. Lord knows the thing is insanely strong. But apparently so are these. What are these? I know what these are. I have them. I can't remember what they're called, so we're going to call them Pontiff Knight's Great Swords, or Curved Swords. We gave him a little clap there, not sure why. I guess I didn't like the curved swords, but they were no match for the Rivers of Blood anyway. Here's one of those examples of someone who buffs for a few seconds before the fight. Wasn't the longest by any means, but that's an example, I suppose. Now, a great combo with this thing is that right there. You go for either 1 or 2 R1s, and then an R2. And then you offset the R2 a little bit by charging it. Whoa, okay, that was a little weird. You offset it a little bit by charging it, and it kind of throws them off a lot of the time. You can get in a good charged R2 with the katana. Another fight where the weapon art just wasn't really needed, but GG nonetheless. Here we have a tough fight on our hands. It's fucking He-Man himself. Luckily we're not Skeletor. He might be kind of pissed. Looks like a great sword poker. Hopefully he's not a great sword poker. He has a sleep crossbow. That's a little bit scary, but I was able to roll out of it in time. A little closer and I won't be able to do that. Oh, too far away again. His strategy's not working entirely well. I don't stay asleep long enough. And we're gonna give him a clap. The sleep crossbow is interesting. I hadn't seen it before. On a side note, summoning adversaries sometimes can be troublesome. That was one of the better ones. We have Duelist 3821 here. He's in the bull goat armor. You see this a lot on our big old poise boys. I don't know why it wouldn't pop off the second weapon art there. I definitely tried to, I remember. For some reason it wouldn't do it. Maybe I didn't have enough stamina or something. I wasn't paying attention, honestly. Running and jumping attacks are amazing. We got Mousy here. He's got a big old greatsword. Wonder what he's gonna do with it. Oh no! He's a crouch poker with an ultra greatsword. What do you know? I'm gonna take this fight to talk about people who just abuse broken weapon arts and broken attacks. Or I'll say abuse. They aren't abusing them because clearly he hasn't hit it, I think, anything but one time. So usually, you know, they're not great at the game. So I guess this is more of a pro tip. Pro tip to people who rely on one weapon art and or one attack with a weapon. Get good at the game so this doesn't happen to you and you look like a garbage can. Just a little PSA. No GG for this guy, by the way. Now we got our man Harp. Got a big old great axe. I think that's Godric's great axe, or it's the Rotten Duelist great axe. Can't really tell because he's bright red. I think it's the Duelist great axe. It doesn't actually hit as hard as I figured it would. I mean, my resistances, I think, are 31% or so. That's an interesting little incantation or spell or whatever it is. You can essentially just like tank a hit. I don't think it does any damage in the few times I've seen it, and then immediately retaliate. It's kind of interesting. You have to watch out for it. People who use it most definitely have a plan or a trick up their sleeve with it, so definitely watch out. Unfortunately, ultra great swords and colossal weapons just are inferior to practically everything else because of their speed. Now, the dual swords are not inferior to everything because of their speed. They are actually insane. I put out a video on them, obviously, so they must be some kind of decent. I mean, geez, what? That was a crazy poke. The thing hit me like 6 feet away. But yeah, I've been hit twice now. I'm almost dead already, so that's a little scary. And he bursted my crimson bubble. But he failed the parry, so all he's getting from me is a little clap, and we're moving on. We have our man Blood McNear. Something like that. He's got a bow. I've fought a few bow people. They're never really fun to fight, but I enjoy the challenge, I suppose. You gotta be quick and unrelentless. You have to have a crap load of stamina regen, because you know like hell they do. And you just kind of have to play range on them the whole time. Which is a little weird, honestly, considering they're using the bow. You'd think they'd be playing the range game. But nope, stay close and you should be able to take care of them. Alright, now, as usual, I have a few deaths at the end. I've never commentated over them, though. I've never commentated over any of my videos. I decided to try it this time. So we fought this guy. 3-6-2-1. I decided to, or 3-8-2-1, whatever. I decided to try him again with a different weapon. And this just kind of goes to show what using a different weapon can do for you. This guy actually just craps on me using a rapier. But it was the opposite using the halberd or whatever I was using. I think the Morgott sword. So, I guess use the correct weapon. You know, use the right weapon. Use a weapon you're good with. Use a weapon that hits hard. Now we're fighting Morgoth himself. I never like halberds. Halberds are probably my top thing to hate in the game. Is either halberds or stun lockers with a spear and rapier. That crap is really annoying too. But halberds, man, they hit so damn hard. They have so much range. They have sweeping attacks, hyper armor, poise, and you can throw all kinds of weapon arts on them. Very good weapon. I'm 100% making a video probably all on halberds, especially the tree sentinels. That thing's actually insane. And so is that weapon art. You know how many times I've been hit by that weapon art like 6 feet behind me? It's actually crazy. People clearly are abusing it. Please fix. They're also abusing jumping attacks. Kinda like that, actually. Yeah. Kinda like that. Here's a replay. And here's that spear attack. Oh well. That being said, this has been a fun one. I enjoyed the Dex Arcane build a lot. If y'all enjoy, you know, like the video, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.